Have you assigned a student a piece only to find out that it was much more difficult for them than you anticipated and took weeks longer for them to learn than you really have? Here's some tips on spotting the pedagogical difficulties in Baroque, classical, and Romantic styles. Today, Baroque. Now we all know we start with the Bach dances. They are full of contrasting articulation. Students must know how to do basic shaping and how to do contrasting articulation. I believe it is in their best interest for them to go through a sequenced, controlled environment of pieces that starts with counterpoint, parallel articulation, and contrasting articulation before they start the dances, and that's why I wrote this book. This does exactly that. Classical collections available at Amazon and Top Music Marketplace. The phrases in the dances are often 4 measures, which is not difficult to teach how to shape. So that is part of what makes them simple starter pieces, if you will. Now, after that, I often teach the 18 little preludes. And those include, now that right there has 2 voices for the right hand to deal with right off the bat. And so that's one of the difficulties that we're spotting. There's also imitation and ornaments in these little preludes. This is an addition by Keith Snell that I like. I do not follow his suggestion for legato left hand and that D major one that I just played. I like it fortato, but I like it in general. Now that leads you into the Inventions, which have longer phrases, often only 2 or maybe 3 phrases in the entire invention. So you have to be able to spot where the climax is. It's almost often at the cadence, and plot then a dynamic that will take you to that point, and perhaps with some little dips before you get there, because sometimes it's difficult to make a straight ascent. So the obviously you're going to do the 2-part inventions before you do the 3-part inventions, and then before you do the well-tempered clavier, you might think about including these little preludes and the little fugues in this collection, also by Keith Snell. They may not be as familiar to you, so I'm going to take just a minute and let you hear. Here is an easy prelude and fugue. Here's the prelude. The fugue. And you hear this sequence taking off there. Lovely piece. The setting is not nearly as complex as the well-tempered clavier, so it's a nice setup for the well-tempered clavier, which of course you want your students to encounter before you do the French suites, which need to come before the English suites and before the toccatas. So I hope that's helpful in spotting pedagogical difficulties in Baroque music for you, your students. I'm going to put, I'll write some of this up and put it on a little I'll put it in the comments where you can download it as a photo and do whatever you want to with it. So it'll be in the comments.